Her grocery list updated. Room 4C midnight, I hit share. At 11:41 p.m. our grocery list grew a new line by itself. Room 4C midnight. It slotted neatly between lemons and oat milk, as if a hotel had always belonged with produce. The font was familiar. Sophia writes in a tidy lowercase that makes even guilt look well organized. But the timestamp said edited by collaborator, and the collaborator wasn't me. Notes does that, a polite little yellow witness. I stared at the screen over the open fridge. Cold air puddled around my ankles. Lemons watched me with their bright, unhelpful faces. Sophia had texted 2 hours earlier, panel ran long. Donors want to worry out loud, don't wait up. I hadn't. The list wasn't new. We've kept our marriage inside that note for years. Ours is the kind of intimacy that counts coffee filters and confessions in the same app. I tapped history. Notes obliged like a well-trained stenographer. 8:06 p.m. Pairs me. 8:20 p.m. Dish tabs her. 9:58 p.m. Room 4C midnight. Someone called R. Collins, added through a shared invite. The name meant something in my teeth before it touched my mind. Rowan Collins is what donors look like when they rehearse humility. He curates causes. He says storytelling a lot and means permission. He'd been circling Sophia's work for months, all compliments and panel invitations and careful opportunities to be seen saying the right thing. I closed the fridge, put my phone face down, and told myself a story about pranks and autocorrect, and the list remembering a hotel room because we once bought nuts there when we were hungry and foolish. The story lasted 6 breaths. Then I picked up the phone again and shared the note to a new collaborator. Mara, ask the hard way. Mara isn't really named that in my contacts. The name is an instruction. When your night turns into an exam question, you send it to her and she grades without spectacle. She replied in 30 seconds with a heart and beneath it, a sentence that clicked in like a spare rib. Bread or sugar? We have a shorthand now, hers. Sugar means showing up at the hotel and making lines in a doorway. It means noise. Bread means staying home and asking for a sentence you can live inside. It means a room you can use tomorrow. I typed, bread, but the list looks like a trapdoor. Good, she wrote. Put the list on the table. Light one lamp. Leave the rest of the room dumb. If you go to a hotel, go to Loom instead. Loom smells like oranges and consequence. I went because the house was too clean for questions. Rain had polished the sidewalks. The city's reflection looked more expensive than we'd paid for. Inside, Anna wiped a dry counter with a wet rag, her religion. Sleeves rolled, the scar on her wrist a pale crescent that had forgotten how to ache. She poured water without waiting for me to request the thing I always ask. Whose name is on the grocery list, she said, like a magician producing a rabbit we both owned. R. Collins, I said, between lemons and oat milk. Spectacle is adding a hotel to a shopping list, she said. Intimacy is standing in your kitchen and cooking anyway. Mara sent me here to avoid hotel carpets, I said. Does that count as intimacy? It counts as choreography, Anna said. And choreography is how terrified people become specific. She tipped her chin. Mara sat near the window, red scarf folded into compliance, notebook flattened by a rubber band. She listened to me exactly the way Sophia used to listen to me before we learned each other's shortcuts too well. No interruptions, no pity, nothing ornamental. When I finished, she took the phone, read the changed line twice, and set it face up between us like an animal we were trying to teach. 2 choices, she said. You already made one. Good. The other choice is what to do with your mouth when she walks in. If you want a scene, rehearse injuries. If you want accuracy, ask for one sentence that can hold overnight. What if the sentence hurts? I asked. Then you'll know how to breathe around it, she said. Pain without air becomes theater. On the walk home, I checked the list again. The line still sat there, sincere and insolent. Room 4C, midnight. I didn't revise it. I put the phone on the table, lit one lamp, and turned the rest of the room into a patient shadow. I wasn't being noble. I was being obedient to a survival tactic. At 12:07 keys, the door inhaled. Sophia stepped in with damp hair and a lanyard still around her neck, the reluctant necklace of people who said panel 5 times and escaped the mirror alive. She saw the lamp, the phone, my face. We smiled politely, the way exiles do when they're re-entering a country with their own passport. The list loves drama, I said. Her attention snapped to the screen with the reflex of a person who knows which object in a room is the bomb. She read. She closed her eyes. She opened them. Room 4C, she said, the way you say a word that used to be yours and now is a headline. Between lemons and oat milk. Added under why, I said, keeping my voice inside its body. She leaned on the back of a chair as if she needed furniture to agree with her posture. He added it to make me feel pre-chosen, she said. He asked if I'd come hear him apologize in a room where apologies look expensive. I declined. He asked if I'd at least put it where I'd see it. I did, because I was afraid I would be weak and I wanted the embarrassment to be present at the scene of the crime. Were you? The ugly question invited softly. Weak, she laughed once, shoulders, eyes, mouth, then mercy. No, but I wanted to be, that's the honest part. I wanted wanting in a safe wrapper and then I wanted you more. That's why I put it in groceries. I needed to see that I would still pick lemons. Why is he in our note? I asked. How did he get a collaborator badge on our dinner? He sent a shared invite to my work email with the subject agenda, she said. I didn't think. I added him so he could see me say no to him in the same place I buy us oat milk. I liked the performance of my virtue. And then I walked to the hotel, she said. Stayed in the lobby with the carpet pretending to be a conversation. I texted him to come downstairs because I don't do rooms without windows for endings. He came down with his apology fully ironed. I declined to applaud. Then I deleted the line and couldn't figure out why it stayed. It stayed because stories like souvenirs, I said, even digital ones. We stood there for a breath that wasn't long but had many rooms in it. Do you want spectacle? She asked. Do you want me to call him and make it a chorus? I want accuracy, I said, and felt my lungs stretch to make shape for the word. I want to know if anything happened that we need to name. He touched my wrist, she said. He said my name like a permission slip. I told him my name does not open doors like that. He said I was cruel for coming to watch him try. I said I came so I could watch myself leave. Then I left. I didn't go, I said. I know, she said. I would have forgiven you if you had, but I prefer you like this. We didn't go to bed to launder a man. We went because bodies are the rooms we can always clean. She stood in front of me and I reached for the zipper of her dress and lifted it like a careful confession. The fabric made that small, faithful sound it makes when it stops pretending to be architecture. We don't do spectacle. We do precise. She placed my hand at her hip and pressed until the weight said stay. I put my mouth at the hinge of her jaw where certainty keeps its breathing, and she said my name in the version that means keep. We asked small questions here, slower, more, and answered in breath. We laughed once because a sleeve practiced slapstick and she used her teeth to rescue me. Heat arrived like tide, not like fire, predictable because we earned the moon. When we finished, it felt less like victory and more like a signature renewed in ink we owned. After, the ceiling practiced being patient. Sophia lay with her cheek on my chest and drew a circle with one finger over the place where my worst ideas nap. "I'm not pure," she said. "I didn't enroll in purity," I said. "I enrolled in learning." "I like seeing his face want," she said. "I'm tired of needing witnesses. I want to be ceremonial with you instead, not performative with him." "Then rules," I said. "Tools, not bars." She smiled at my taxonomy, the old joke we keep because it keeps us. We wrote them with the pencil we keep in the junk drawer exactly because it still writes everything. 1. If an ending requires a location, we say its name in this kitchen before we consider renting it. 2. No collaborators join our list unless they bring soup when we're sick. 3. Novelty is a chore my weeks. Wrong hour for the right thing, your weeks. Move the furniture until the light has to relearn our faces. 4. When we miss being admired by the wrong eyes, we say it out loud and then do 3 stupid ordinary things until our mouths are trustworthy again. Peel oranges over the sink. Play one song to the end before anything important. Kiss in the doorway. We did them immediately because midnight is not the time to postpone competence. We peeled oranges. The room smelled like we were good. We played a song we love because it knows what contrition sounds like and refuses to overdo it. We kissed in the doorway until the apartment decided to applaud, and the dog forgave us for being people. In the morning, I removed Rowan from the list with the same tenderness you owe a splinter. I toggled off every sharing option that thinks collaboration is how a heart improves. I set a rule. Requests from unknown addresses go to a folder with an accurate name, noise. Sophia made coffee and read me a student paragraph about guilt being a kind of vanity. "I prefer utility," she said. "Let's only keep the guilt that fixes things." A week later, I saw Rowan outside a gallery where sincerity was framed and sold at a markup. He wore navy, of course, and the smile of a man in recovery from himself. He caught my eye and then pretended he hadn't, which is an art. He's learning. I went a loom because victory tastes better when Anna names it. She slid me a cookie I pretended to refuse, and a look that said, "Good boy." Mara texted a photo of a marquee intimacy spectacle with no caption. Her heart came in a moment later without a period, which is her way of saying keep going. Sometimes the note still tries to be cute. It will surface one of its own ghosts. Emergency candles from the storm week, backup key. From when the lock misbehaved, oat milk. With 3 question marks because a house guest drank the last of it and we love them anyway. When it misbehaves, we don't scold it. We add lemons and bread and one small thing that makes today easier for later, and we buy the list into reality, which is the opposite of performance. Last night at 11:41 again, time loves to try you with symmetry, our note updated itself. Room 4C midnight crossed out, then underneath in Sophia's tidy lowercase. Home now. No collaborator tag, no green high wire act, her hand our lamp. I took a screenshot and didn't send it to anyone. I put my phone face down. I put my palm over her hand. We invented no ceremony. We used the one we built, small and accurate, until the ceiling forgave us for being ordinary on purpose. We are not pure. We are specific. We are people who keep lemons in the bowl with our keys and our rules, and the letter for whatever version of us wakes too early or too late. When the world tries to add a room between the produce, we put the list on the table and ask for a sentence we can live inside. We eat the oranges and play the song and kiss in the doorway not because it is cute, but because it is bread, and we intend to live here long enough to need more.